Well, thank you all for coming, and welcome to the Mother of the Nation Festival. A couple things before we get started. Number one, this talk is going to be in English, so if anyone doesn't understand English, please raise your hands and we can give you a headphone so they will translate into Arabic. Anybody need? All right, excellent. So, can everybody hear me? Yes? Wonderful. First of all, give yourselves all a big hand. Thank you for coming here. Without you, we wouldn't have this talk, so wonderful. Thank you all so much for coming. Number two, I would like to apologize. About 2 weeks ago, I was diagnosed with something that's called
Bell's palsy.
And Bell's palsy is a virus, the same like chickenpox, and what it does is partially paralyzes half of your face. So as you can see, I'm having a little difficulty speaking. I hope that you'll be able to understand me. I'm doing the best I can.
And if you don't, just raise your hand and I'll translate it.
Exactly, she'll speak for me, because that's what she does for me all the time. So thank you very much. And also, please give a clap, a big hand for Dunia, who's coming. She is 6 years old. And although she has done many talk shows with myself on Live Talks Live on Facebook, this is the first time that we go live in front of people. So congratulations, Dunia, for that. So, let's start here. What is this all about? Make it fun, keep it fun. So, let me tell you a little bit about myself before we get started. My name is Omar Alhegelan. I'm a world champion skydiver. I'm an adventurer. I've been blessed to be able to have gone to Antarctica and jumped over the frozen tundra of the 7th continent. I've jumped in basically all 7 continents, and skydiving and adventure is my passion. I have jumped over the North Pole. I have even gone and jumped higher than the altitude of Mount Everest, jumping from a plane at 29,500 feet with oxygen and landing with the Himalayas and the beautiful Mount Everest behind me. I have been blessed to go to places like Norway and base jump from Norway, from the cliffs over there. I have gone sled riding in Norway. I've actually been able to see polar bears in their natural habitat. Real ones. And I actually got to jump from where? Look at it. From the Burj Khalifa, right after the inauguration. But you know something? Nothing, all those things could not have prepared me for one great event. And that was the birth of my daughter. Let me tell you a quick little story. It was the 29th of March, 2011. And that's when I was called and we went to the hospital. My wife was due. And as the doctor came, he found out that the dilation was just right. So they cleared the room and they told me, go ahead and scrub. Scrub? I'm like, okay, scrub. You know, I guess parents need to scrub if they want to be in the same room with their child. So I scrubbed, so iodine, put rubber gloves on. Then they took me to scrub again over the gloves. I'm like, Harib, what's going on here? Okay, so I scrubbed again, more iodine, put a second layer of gloves, put a gown. And then the doctor said, come here. And I slowly walked towards my wife, who was laying down, her legs on the stirrup. The doctor was in front. And he grabbed me by the shoulder, and he put me right in front of my wife. And he said, you know what? You're going to deliver your own child. I said, what? See, I had forgotten. If you go back 3 months before that, I had gone to one of the sessions where my wife had to do an ultrasound. And while she was doing the ultrasound, we saw a beautiful image of you in your mother's belly. And after we finished with that, I went and grabbed my phone like most parents do and started doing something. And the doctor had mentioned to me, he said, are you scared of blood? And I'm like, no, I've seen a lot of blood in my lifetime. He said, you're a good candidate. but I didn't think anything of it. So fast forward to that day, and in fact, he put me in front of my wife. And I'll be honest with you, I was literally terrified. I was really terrified. But you know what? There's something to be said. There's a time, hi Habibi, how are you? What's your name? What's your name? Huh? Tell you what. Thank you for joining us, Habib. You'll come back. You'll come back later. In life, you know, like the sign, like this poster says, fear has two meanings. You can say, forget everything and run, or
Face everything and rise.
And at that moment, I knew that I had to rise to the occasion. I was
Can't
scared.
run.
No, not running. I was very scared. But you know what? This was
petrified.
I'm more like petrified. But this became the most incredible moment of my life. Because for once, you know, the mother and the child have this incredible bond. The mother carries the baby, the mother delivers the child. And the father is usually somewhere else, doing something else. But I actually got to do all the work. I actually got to see my daughter as she came out. And as she came out, and I told my wife to do that last push, she came out of the room and her eyes opened, and I got to see her eye to eye. The first person she ever saw was her dad. Not her mom, sorry, but it was her dad. And this started our bond, the most incredible bond that any man could ever have with a child. So I am so grateful for that doctor. So Dunia, what are we talking about here? What makes a good relationship between parents and children?
Love, respect, and fun.
Love, respect, and fun. Absolutely. So the first one, love. Okay? Love is the basis of everything. Love is what makes relationships. Love is the bare minimum. I mean, at the end of the day, what do we have without love? Right, Dunia? Love? Yeah, exactly. Love is what makes the world go round. Exactly. Love is all you need. Exactly. And you know what? Without love, we're left with absolutely nothing. And so we have to start with that. We have to start with the bare minimum, which is the love that we have for each other. The love that you have for family, the love that you have for your children is imperative. I'll give you another quick little story. With my father, bless him, he's 90 years old, so he's for an older generation. And for him, he could never express his love. As a child, I remember saying, "Hey, Dad, you love me?" Of course I do. "Well, say you love me." "Well, you know I do." No, but say I love you. And he could never say I love you. It's one of those, you know, generational, societal things that was almost impossible. But you know what? I kept going. And for about 13 years, I kept pushing and pushing and pushing until he finally said it. And from that point on, he said it all the time. Well, I made sure of one thing. I made sure that not a day goes by without me telling my wife and my daughter that I love them at least 100 times. Or more. Because really, at the end of the day, that's the most important thing we have. This love for family, right? What's the second thing we're going to talk about? Respect. Respect is such an important thing. You know, as Arabs and Muslims, we're taught and we're raised to respect our elders. It's, you know, we're taught from the very beginning, from a very young age, respect your elders. And beyond that, respect your parents. There's nothing more important than giving that respect to them. And respecting the elders and respecting your parents. And it's amazing, it's incredible. It's something that is wonderful to do and to give. You know, my father always used to say to me, "Wallah takullahumma uffan." You know, don't even say oof to your parents. Don't you dare say the slightest word to your parents. And you know what? It's very true and it's wonderful. But I decided to do it a little differently with my daughter. I decided to give her that same respect that my parents wanted from me. And by doing that, and by giving her that respect, I never had to command mine. She simply gave it to me. She offered it to me.
I respect my parents because they deserve it.
Thank you, Hayati.
And I love them.
And we love you. And this is the most beautiful thing, because instead of asking for it, you can get it.
You can earn it.
You can earn it by giving it to them. And this is one of the most incredible things. So, respect. When I talk to my child, she's 6, she's short, I don't stay in my posture and talk down to her. I get down on my knees and I look at her and I talk to her eye to eye. It's imperative to do that. It's key. It's giving her the respect that she deserves in doing that. Another thing that I would like to share with you parents is when you talk to your child and you want to do something, don't always imagine that they're at your beck and call. So whenever I want Dunia to do something, I would say, in 2 minutes. In 2 minutes, we're gonna go. In 2 minutes, I need you to finish doing what you're doing. In 2 minutes, be ready. Why in 2 minutes? How many people here have had something taken from them, like a piece of paper and someone snatches it from you, right? It doesn't feel good. Does anyone like that feeling? No. A child is the same way. A child is so focused, a child is so in the now, that whenever we take something from a child, they get flustered. So when they're eating and they're so focused, and you're like, okay, let's go. No, for them it's snatching, it's a lack of respect. When they're working on a craft or drawing or doing whatever it is that they're doing, which to us doesn't seem so important, but for them it's critical, it's key. Always give them that 2 minutes, because it makes the world of difference for them. We need to respect their emotions, respect their feelings. A lot of times, we want our child to tell us immediately what's going on. Why are you angry? Why are you sad? Whatever emotion they're feeling, we want to get to the root of it immediately. Well, sometimes we have to give them time. We have to give them the right to process their own emotions, process how they're feeling, in order for them to understand what they're feeling, so they will know how to appropriately express it. That's called emotional intelligence, emotional literacy. It's understanding how to read and write your emotions. But if every time we just jump and we take that from the child, we're not giving them that opportunity to understand. For instance, Dunia, do you want to tell them that story that happened just last week when you were going to the car and you were pushing your bag?
So when I was going to school, well, on my bag, it just got caught in one of the holes in a drain, and so that hurt my shoulder and caught me by surprise. So I got a little cranky in the car, and it took me a while to know what's really going on, and then...
Because you went from being very happy, you left the house, super happy, joyous, singing and everything, and all of a sudden you got in the car and you were mad, right?
Yeah. And then I finally explained to my mom why.
So after a while, without having her mother push her and trying to find out why are you angry, why are you upset? Because when a child is feeling that, the last thing they want to hear is why? They don't need that. They're thinking and they're processing their own feelings and their own emotions. And so on this example, she started out the day wonderfully, very happy. And then some event happened that put her in a bad mood. But given the time, given that 20-minute ride to school, she was able to rationalize what she was feeling and why she was feeling it. And then she was able to verbalize to her mother the emotions. And so by the time that they got to school, she was back to her usual happy self. And that's wonderful. Good job in understanding and realizing those emotions. Another thing that is crucial, in my opinion, in terms of respect, and this is very hard for a lot of parents, is you have to admit when you make a mistake. Listen, none of us are perfect. I know I'm not perfect. I make mistakes.
Me neither.
I make mistakes all the time. But you know the one thing that we can do? When we do make a mistake, we can apologize. We can say, I'm sorry. Even if it's your child, even if it's a 6-year-old, you don't have to be proud. Like I like to say, take the ego out of it. Don't let the ego work, but instead take the ego out of the situation and be man enough, woman enough, adult enough to look at your child and say, you know what? I'm so sorry I raised my voice at you. I was mad because of something else and I shouldn't have taken it out on you. I apologize and I'm sorry. That speaks volumes. It speaks volumes about yourself, and it teaches your child how to become in the future. And understanding that we all make mistakes. It's okay to make mistakes. The important thing is to move past your mistakes, accept that you make mistakes, and move on. Respect their privacy. Believe it or not, even a 4 or 6-year-old have and deserve their privacy. They demand their privacy. So when they need to have that time out, when they need to be alone, give them that respect. You know, we tend to always want to control. We're control freaks. And we always want to control every situation. But at the end of the day, give them the time, give them space. And believe it or not, that will come and will help you in the future. Same thing with their opinion. Always listen to what children have to say. Again, we take it for granted. Oh, they're a kid. What do they know? They're just children. What do they know? Not true. They know a lot. They know a lot more than we tend to give them credit for. And this is something that's amazing about kids. So don't just listen to your child, but hear what they have to say. Hear their words. So it's not just, you know, like they're just talking and they're just saying something and you're too busy to listen to what they really have to say. No, take your time and be in the now. Be present for your children, right? And, you know, it's very important to make sure that you understand what they're saying and to listen to them, right?
And don't fake it while looking at your phone or work.
Because that's what we tend to do, right? We're on our phone, okay, sure. What, honey? Yeah. Don't do that. That's the worst thing that we can do to our children. Let's really be present. And in so doing, you're going to have children that are going to respect you so much, and you're going to have children that are going to go so out of their way to do incredible, amazing things in this life. Now we get to the best part, which is fun. And this is and fun is part of everything. Fun is part of the beginning. Fun is part of the love. Fun is part of the respect. Fun is everything. Every moment in your life, you should put fun. You should infuse fun into every single aspect. Everything that you do should be fun, right? With Dunia, we made, from when she was a baby, everything was about fun. So, waking up in the morning, what would we do when we wake up in the morning? We would sing. We would sing a song. Good morning, it's time to start your day. Good morning, and so we make up these stupid little songs. But you know what? They're great. They're great to put her in a good mood. They're great to put us in a good mood, and they're great to start the day. And then she was young, so she used to nap. And then she would wake up in the afternoon. Good afternoon, sweet Pichun. Good afternoon. Okay, sorry. Now I'm embarrassing her. So, you're right, I apologize. And you know what? Those were amazing, because those songs were so much fun. They put everyone in a good mood. Now, you're gonna tell me, listen, I don't have time to sing songs all day long. You know, there's wars going on in the world. There's a lot of misery going on. There's family members that just got diagnosed with X, Y, and Z. There's problems in the economy. Honestly, I don't have time for songs. No, you do have time for songs. Because it is our job.
It's not for songs, it's for your child.
Exactly. It is our responsibility to the child to raise them in the happiest possible environment. It is up to us to put them in that good mood. It's up to us to shelter them from what's going on in the world and what's happening outside. And you know what? We're the adults. So we should be able to categorize and put aside the negativity that's going on in the outside world, the outside influences, and be able to take all our positive energy and infuse that positive energy into the child and into things that we want to do. Because this is what's going to make everything. How many parents here have had issues? You know, at the very beginning, you teach your children to go to the bathroom at night with the pajamas, brush their teeth, and then after a while, they don't want to. Anybody here has had that problem? Or yeah, one, yeah, maybe, kind of, two. Okay, so we had that same problem, and so I thought about it, and I'm like, okay, now we're spending a lot of time fighting, arguing, going back and forth because they don't want to do it. So what did we do?
Made up a silly race.
Okay, can you tell them about the race? What was the race all about?
Well, you would start off on a bed. I mean, you can just go crazy, but we like to start off on the bed and then just race to a chair.
So whoever sat in the chair first,
Yeah,
they get advantage?
Then they just go to a desk, write on a piece of paper their name, and then just go into the bathroom, do whatever you'd like, brush your teeth, or go to the bathroom. And then you would come out, when you finish, you would come out and write the opponent's name on your same piece of paper, and then do the thing that you didn't do, and then you come out, and you just write a name, but you have to agree on which name, and then you just put on your pajamas, and then whoever reaches the bed first wins.
Is the winner. So now you're telling me, who has time to play these silly games? I mean, seriously, who has time to go and run from the bed? Guess what? It only took 4 minutes.
Or three.
Or 3. In those 4 minutes versus the 10, 15 minutes of arguing and back and forth, which is greater?
It's kind of worth it.
Guess what? One, you're laughing, you're having fun, you're enjoying it, and your child does what you want. The other one takes more time, you're arguing, you're upset, you get...
I don't like it.
So, think about it. If you infuse fun, you get to do much more. They say you get a lot more from honey than you do with vinegar. This is a perfect example. So, what else do we want to do? Everything was fun. Eating. Same thing with eating, right? At the beginning, they eat really well, they're very happy, and then all of a sudden, one day, you're sitting at the table and they're just like, and you're like, why aren't you eating? I don't want to eat. Anybody? Yes? Yeah? Okay. So, again, I thought about it, I'm like, what can we do? You know, it was just one day, we're sitting at the table, she decided she didn't want to eat. And so what I did was the following. She was sitting next to me, my wife was sitting across, so I took a piece of food and put a fork, and I held it like this, and I said, don't anybody touch my food. If anybody touches my food, where'd it go? What? Okay, let me try again. If anybody touches my food, I am going to be so mad because I'm so hungry. And you know what? It worked. It was a silly little game. It was a silly little idea. But you know what? That's what life is all about. Life is about being silly. Life is about having fun. Life is about changing what you're doing and going for things and trying to be creative. Because saying, eat your food. Why aren't you eating food? You need to eat your food.
I don't want to.
It's not going to get you anywhere. Fighting is not going to get you anywhere. Being logical, thinking outside of the box, having fun, that's what's going to get you somewhere. The same thing was for us was in mathematics, in education, okay? The same thing came across for me, and I decided to educate her in terms of let's use logic, let's use reason, and let's use fun. See, I was raised, and when I went to school, it was all about memorization.
Even the pie.
You went to math class. You had to learn your times table. 1 times 1 is 1. 1 times 2 is 2. 1 times 3 is 3.
You had to learn the pie.
And I had to memorize what pi was to the 20th decimal later on in life. Exactly. But see, we decided to do it differently. So I remember it was about 3 years ago when you learned the 9th table.
Probably like 2.
2 years ago? Okay, so when you were 4. So instead of memorizing the 9th table, we decided let's play a game. Do you want to show them how you do the 9th table?
Yes, so
Here.
can you give me an example?
Can someone give us 9 times what?
7.
9 times 7.
Well, 9 times 7, you can just put your hands up and then you just count to 7. And then on the 7th, you just keep it down and then that's like 6. Add a 0, it makes 60 and then count the units, so it makes 63.
6. Exactly. So, for instance, if you want to do 5 times 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 45. If you want to do 9 times 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 81. Wow, we just learned our 9th table. Just like that. So easy. Then we went for the 11th table. How do you do the 11th table? What's 11 times 3?
Well, you can just take like 11 times 3 would be like you take a 3 and then you double the number to make 33.
11 times 6.
But don't get confused with 3 plus 3.
So 11 times 6?
11 plus
11
times
times
6
6?
is like the
Just
same
say it.
thing, but 6
Just say the answer.
duplicate.
Exactly. 66.
66.
9 times 11.
99.
There you go. So now we memorized, she was 4 years old, she knew the 9th table and the 11th table. And then the 10th table, what do? You just add up?
0.
Okay, so 3 times
0.
10 is?
30.
There you go. So now we knew 3. Well, you know what? You don't have to just memorize. You don't have to learn things in the old school way. You can try to find a modern way to do things. Be creative. Do things in a different way. And you'll see how much easier life can become. And you know, the same thing happens with science, with English. You have to learn to be creative. You have to step out of the box. Imagination is really more important than knowledge. It truly is. So we live in an apartment and we've got big glass windows. And so what we do is we have dry erase, like a dry board, and we do all our classes and our lessons, we do it on the glass. It's like our blackboard. Then we erase it and we say, it's our whiteboard or our transparent board.
Whiteboard / transparent board / blackboard.
And so here's the thing. We have fun. And what do? A lot of times we switch roles. So we'll play teacher and student. But I'm not always the teacher. Sometimes I'm the student. And I'll let her be the teacher. And that's when you can have fun. That's when you learn. That's when you grow. And it's not just in that. Cooking as well. Right? Do you like cooking?
Yes, I love cooking.
Especially what?
Cookies.
Especially making cookies with your mom?
Yes.
And then we go to the next step, which is sports and having fun. This is Dunia when she was 2 years old. I took her to do the color run. It's such a fun event. And yes, at first we were like, okay, she's only 2, but why not? Why not? And she had the time of her life. We had so much fun, color being sprayed. And you know what? We ended up doing, we did all the 5 kilometers. And we made it to the finish line. Now, if you don't mind, I'm going to take a minute. Speaking of sports, I want to tell you a story about Dunia and how we got her swimming, how we started swimming. I don't know if any of you remember a group called Nirvana. And Nirvana used to have this album cover of a baby underwater. Yes. So I had seen this picture when I was young of this baby, tiny little baby, underwater. And I was amazed by it. And I was like, you know what? That would be so cool. I would love to do that when I have a baby. So when Dunia was born, I went ahead and I started researching. And I checked and I researched on Google and on Amazon. I bought all the books that I could to find out how to submerge a baby. So I educated myself in 1 month, 2 months. I had also read that it's better to make sure that they have their inoculation shots. So it wasn't going to happen before the 3 months. Well, 3 months came and left. And I'll be honest with you, I was scared because I didn't have anyone I could talk to. It was just me.
You were scared if I was going to drown.
I'm like, yeah, I mean, imagine if you're the silly guy that takes your baby and you drown your own baby. I mean, come on. Just because you saw it on Google or you saw it on an album cover, that's not very smart. So I was really scared. I was petrified. But you know what? I read about this thing called the Mammalian Reflex. And it's a reflex. Just like we have a reflex here. Because the baby spends 9 months in the womb. And they're in fluid, in embryonic fluid. So it's like water. So they have liquid going inside and outside of them. Excuse me. And can you all hear me? And so it said that this reflex, this mammalian reflex, stays optimal for 5 months. And after 5 months, it deteriorates. By the time they're 1, they lose it completely. So I had passed 3 months. I was just about to pass 4 months, and I got really scared. And I'm like, oh my God, I can't lose this window. I yelled out, Sherry, my wife's name, now. I grabbed Dunia. My wife grabbed a GoPro, and we put her in the water. We said, ready, set, go. And we submerged her. And you know what? This submersion was unbelievable. She went underwater, she came out of the water, laughing, having a wonderful time. So you know what? We did it again. And we did it again. And you know what this led to? This led to her being a little baby, having so much fun. By the time she was 1.5, like this picture, she was already on my back. And she was doing laps underwater with me. And this comfort in the water led her to become an incredible swimmer by the time she was 4. At that time, so much control and so much self-confidence was in her that she became zen. She became so zen underwater. She could cross her legs in the lotus position and hold herself underwater. And it was this comfort level that actually got her and led us to believe that she could go to the next step. And so at the age of 4, believe it or not, we took her scuba diving. And she went scuba diving at the age of 4. She wasn't scared, she wasn't petrified, she loved it. What was your favorite part about it?
Seeing the manta rays and also like pointing out any litter on the ground on the bottom, and then you would just put on the mask and then just go under the water and get it.
Part of the amazingness of Dunia is that she's extremely socially conscious. She'll see a piece of trash anywhere, we have to pick it up. So here she is, scuba diving at the age of 4 for the first time, and she's pointing. And I thought she was pointing at the fish. I'm like, yeah, fish. And she's like, And she was pointing at trash. She's like, Dad, go get the trash. Get it out of the sea. We don't want trash at the bottom of the sea. And it's true. And so this comfort level went past beyond that. So even when she was young, when she was 1.5, I took her water skiing. And this water skiing led that by the time she was 4 or 5, she could water ski with her mom. And that in turn led to her being able to have fun. And this is us, a few months ago? A few months ago, playing and enjoying wake surfing together. And again, if you look at it, you'll see that she's singing. Because like we said, everything is about having fun. Everything is about putting a fun element into it. The action is already fun in and of itself. But you know what? When you put singing, and when you sing together, and when you have fun, and you laugh, it becomes that much more enjoyable. And that is exactly what we did. Just having fun. And this fun translated in this education to so many different aspects of our life. It wasn't just the water sports, but I'll say it is because of that first submersion that it built her confidence. It built her confidence as a human being, as a person, and it led her to doing jiu-jitsu and getting gold medals in jiu-jitsu, and doing gymnastics, getting gold medals in gymnastics, and doing diving, platform diving and springboard diving, and getting gold medals at that. Because it gave her the inspiration and the courage and the ability to know that there's anything that she wants to do, she can do. And you know what? You can make everything fun. Everything can be fun. Don't tell me that you can't. Even being on an airplane or going to an airplane on a jetway, you can make it fun. I'll give you an example. This is Dunia and I. We're about to board an airplane. And what we did was, we had the earbuds.
It was so much fun. My dad had one earbud and I had the other one. We could only hear the music and we were dancing to it. It was so much fun.
So everyone's looking at us like we're crazy. But what do we care? I don't care what everyone is thinking. I care what my daughter is thinking. I care what my wife is thinking. What everyone else is thinking, it's not my problem. But you know what? Even going on a plane can be fun. Any situation in your life, you can make it fun. You can be that parent that's stressed out and says, oh no, well, we're about to catch a plane and we should do this and you should and make sure you have your bag. Or you can have fun. You can make it so much fun.
And just so you know, that song that we're listening to is the same song that we started with.
Absolutely. So let me ask you a question, guys. Who wants to play a game? Can we have you? Come on, young man, come on down. Thank you. Can I have this
Anyone
mic?
can play.
Anyone else wants to play? You want to play? Come on, come join us. Hello, young man. What's your name? Muhammad. How old are you?
10 years old.
10 years old. Bravo. Stand over here, Muhammad. And what is your name, young lady?
Hassa.
Hassa. How old are you?
11.
11. Stand right here. Dunya. Come, you guys want to join? Come join us. You can join. Doesn't matter. You can. Come, sweetheart. Come. And what is your name? Here, can you ask them their name and their age?
What's your name? Salama. Nice to meet you, Salama. How old are you? 9 years old.
Okay.
What's your name? Dana. Nice to meet you, Dana. How old are you? 6.
The next one.
What's your name?
How old are you?
Howard.
How old are you? Adi Amra. 6 years old. Stand right here.
How old are you? 5.
What's
And
your name?
Sika. Nice to meet you.
Hi, Habib.
Sorry. Nice to meet you. 12.
This young man. شو اسمك؟ أمير أدي عمرك؟ How old are you? أدي عمرك? 4? 4 years old. Anyone else? Did we get everyone? What's your name, sweetie? Salha. And how old are you? 10 years old. And you, young man? Hakeem. How old are you?
8.
You're 8? MashaAllah. Can we all get a round of applause for that? Thank you. You guys are all very great. Okay, so you all stand right here. And yeah, we did everyone. Yeah? Okay? And so now we need an adult. Come on, young man, you're gonna stand right here. Okay? So you're gonna have the hard job, okay? Because we're gonna ask you a question, and you're only gonna have 5 seconds.
10 seconds.
10 seconds to answer it? Okay.
For the trick questions and stuff.
Okay. So these are the categories that we're gonna ask. Do you feel good in these categories? By the way, what's your name? Abdullah. And how old are you, Abdullah? 14. There we go. Okay, Abdullah, here we go. You ready? Okay, so first question. Math question. That's okay. Math question. If x equals the square root of 100 minus 20 plus 1 times 1, what is x? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. We need an answer. 1? Okay, I don't think that's the right answer. You guys huddle up, guys. Huddle up. Dunia, put him in the huddle. Put everyone in the huddle. Yes, put it. Dunia. Yes, the circle's a huddle. Huddle up and ask if anyone knows the answer. Sure. Yeah. Okay, kids, do you guys know the answer? If you do, on the count of 3, say the answer. 1, 2, 3. 9. The answer is 9. Okay? 100 minus 20 is 80. 1 times 1 is 1. 80 plus 1, 81. Square root of 81 is 9. Yes, kids. It's okay. Don't worry about it. Don't worry. You still have a chance. Way to go, kids. Next one, science. What planet is the second closest to the sun? Venus. Correct. Way to go. Let's give him a hand of applause. Bravo. Next question. Geography. What is the capital of Australia? Yeah. No, sorry. Close, but not Sydney. One more try. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, kids, huddle up. Try to find an answer. Do you guys have an answer? Okay, 1, 2, 3. Canberra is the right answer. Good on you, Mike. Now, physical. Do as many push-ups as you can. Push-ups. 7 push-ups. 7 push-ups. ليش؟ ما في؟ ليش لا؟ 7 push-ups عادي. Try. So. Okay, does someone want to take his place for push-ups? Anybody want to take his place and help him out for push-ups? Anybody? No? You will do? Okay. But your baby, it's okay? Thank you very much. Everyone, give him a big hand of applause. Yalla, تفضل حبيبي. We will find 3 of them, and you have to do. Except Dunia, why? Except Dunia. And we'll see if you can do more than them. Yalla, can I have 3 volunteers for push-ups? 1, 2, and 3. Dunia, it's okay. He said no to Dunia. It's okay. Okay, come on, you guys come here. Line up. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Do some push-ups. Let's see how many. We'll count them for you. Okay? Yeah, go ahead. You want to do more than Dunia? Go ahead. Okay, ready? Yeah, go ahead. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. MashaAllah. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, mashallah, 20, 21, 22, 23, 23, 23, 23, 24, 25, and 26. Bravo! 26. Come on. 26. Anyway, you want to do 27 or you want to quit now before starting? Okay. Thank you. Give him a big hand of applause. Now go get some books. Everybody, you all get a prize for joining us. Thank you so much. Here, Dunia, please start giving out these books. Give me your microphone. Give everybody one. So, what was this all about? This was to show that, you know what? We think we're so smart. We're the adults. We know so much more. Kids know a lot. Kids have answers. Kids are educated. Kids are strong. Kids are beautiful. Kids have emotions, have thoughts, have strength. Thank you. Wow, all this time has gone by. Time has flown by. So you know what, Dunia? Let's go quickly to your Duniaism book. So that's what I wanted to show everyone. That was the reason for the game. Because A, games are fun and everybody enjoys games. But and everybody here will have a book as well. Absolutely. And Dunia will be happy to sign them afterwards. So, I know. So, now let me just, I forgot about the bonus question. Oh, too late. It's okay. So, here, guys, the bonus question. If x is the square root of love squared, what is x? Love. Absolutely. And love is all you need. Love is wonderful. Love is perfection. So, one thing because we're starting to getting close to the end of our talk. So, we're gonna just quickly go through these. One of our philosophies that Sherry, by the way, please stand up. This is Dunia's mother, Sherry. Please give her a hand. And one of our philosophies in life is open as many doors as possible for your children, okay? But let them decide which ones to walk through. A lot of parents make the mistake of opening many doors and forcing their children through that door. You have to play the violin. You have to do this. You have to do that. You know what? They don't have to anything. Open as many doors for them, but let them choose. They know what they want. They know what they like. They know what they enjoy. They know what they're going to excel in. You have to give them that possibility. But by forcing them, you don't do that. You don't help them. You're doing the opposite. You make them hate something. You make them hate the door that you're opening for them. So please, as much as possible, open as many doors as possible for your child, and they will tell you whether or not they want to go through that door. They will be the ones to tell you, yes, I like this. No, I don't like that. And one thing is important. Don't make the same mistake we did. Don't burn them out. Don't give them too much. Because that also becomes a problem. When all of a sudden you have a 4-year-old that after school is going for 2 hours of gymnastics on Monday, and then 1 hour of diving on Tuesday, then 2 hours of gymnastics on Wednesday, then 1 hour of jiu-jitsu on Thursday, then 1 hour of... you burn him out. And we didn't know because she was enjoying it and she wanted to. But you know what? She was getting sick all the time. She was coming home having fevers, her immune system was low, even though we feed her well, even though we give her good food. But you know what? It was too much. It was too much for a child. And so we told her. And again, we gave her the option. We said, look, you're doing too much. Which one should we cut? We didn't say, oh, you know what, you're excelling at this. You should stay in that. Forget the other one. No, we asked her. We said, listen, which one you want to stop doing and which ones you want to keep doing. And she told us, and that is very important. So, they say that the best teachers are those who show you where to look, but they don't tell you what to see. Remember that with your children. That is so important. That is key. Last but not least, there is no such thing as success without failure. You have to teach children about that. It's like the yin and yang, right, Dunia? And you can't have one without the other. That's right. And it's by failing that we succeed. No one is born successful. No one is born a champion.
Because I had a lot of failures in jiu-jitsu, diving, and stuff. And like you can see, I'm gonna let
No, it's okay. But it's true. That's exactly it. You have failures. Everybody wants to be successful. Everybody thinks that it comes easy. They don't realize how much effort and pain comes into it.
we see the better people.
Absolutely.
We see the beautiful, but all that he had to be through was pain.
Yeah, a lot of pain, a lot of work, and a lot of hard work. So, it's just like the iceberg. When you see an iceberg, it looks huge, but it's so much bigger underneath. And that's what success is all about. People just see the beautiful snow on the top and the peak, but they don't realize all the work that it takes to get there. They don't take into consideration the hard work, the late nights, the struggles, the failures, the pain, the doubts, all the negativity, all the things that come into it, the rejection, the sacrifices. But that's what you have to do if you really want to be successful, if you really want to be a child. This is not Dunia, but I saw this and I have to share it with you because this is the perfect example of failing until you succeed. Look at the determination on this young girl. Look at the drive, the persistence. And this translates into life. This is what life is all about. For you as a parent, for your children, this is exactly what it is. You're gonna have failure after failure after failure. You're almost gonna get there, and you're still gonna fail. Until one day, you're gonna take a deep breath, and you're gonna focus all your energy, and all your hard work, and all your determination. And you're gonna succeed. And that is exactly it. That's what it's all about. That is what's being an incredible champion. And one thing that just when we talk about succeeding, it's very important that when you win with grace and evenly, of course, but you win with grace and with honor. In the same way, when you don't succeed in what you want to do, you do it the same way. Exactly. So
No matter if you're first, second, or third.
it doesn't matter what your position is. You should always go with your chin up and your hand extended to congratulate the other.
And shake.
Of course, because this is what makes you a good person. This is what makes you a better person. It's not the winning, but it's understanding what it takes to get there. So, real quickly now, Dunia, we're gonna have you read part. So, let me just give you a quick introduction to this. All children say incredible, amazing things. All of them. I don't care who. All of them say the most incredible things, and we're blessed. And we're blessed that my wife, Dunia's mother, God bless her soul. See, when kids say something smart, we're all like, "Oh, isn't that cute? She said that. It's so amazing," and then we forget about it. Well, you know what? Her mother, my wife, was so smart. She started writing them down. And then 3-4 years into it, when by the time she was 5, we had all these things that she had said, And so we decided to put them together in a small book. So it's her sayings with her art, her illustration. So,
I'm gonna not read you all of these, so take a couple of
go ahead.
So rule number one, relax. Rule number one, relax.
I gotcha.
The more you relax, the bigger you smile. Rule number two, you know what you should do when you're angry? Think sunny thoughts. I know what everyone's job is, to love. Why do they call it a napkin? It goes on your lap. It should be called a napkin.
Right? It should be called a napkin. Why a napkin? You don't nap on it. You put it on your lap. Napkin. I agree.
Isn't that the biggest mosque you've ever seen? I've seen bigger in our hearts. After looking at some of my father's gold medals, I said, my love is your medal.
Thank you, it is.
I'm not just great, I'm grateful. I'm braver than my fears. Rule number three, just because you're little doesn't mean you can't do big things.
Read that one again.
Rule number three, just because you're little doesn't mean you can't do big things. And don't forget to remember that. And don't forget to remember that it's still there, okay? I just didn't add it. It's there.
So, all of you will have a copy of the book.
And it's going to be signed.
If you would like to, she'll be more than happy to sign it at the end of our talk. No, it's okay, at the end of the talk. So, let me just finish the whole talk with the following. We tend, everything starts at home. Education starts at home. Everything you need to teach your children starts at home. So you should really go ahead, yeah, of course. So please, do me a favor. See, we live in Dubai. It's easy to have nannies. Please, do not subcontract the most incredible times of your life to a nanny. Even if you can afford it. Fine. You want to have a housekeeper, have a housekeeper. But not a nanny. Spend as much time. I understand some people work 2 jobs. Father works, mother works, and you have to. And that I understand. But if that's not the case, spend as much time as possible with your children, because you're the one that's going to finish by educating them. You're the one that is going to teach them what's right and what's wrong. You're the one that's going to set the path for them.
They might not love the nanny, but it's for sure that they love you.
That's right. And so, Dunia, what is it that the kind of things that we should do together?
We take bath together.
We clean the house together.
Do chores together.
We study together.
Do sports together like wake surfing and flying in the tunnel.
We go shopping together.
Love together.
We laugh together. This is the most incredible thing. Teach them everything they need at home. Parents are the biggest gurus. Parents are the biggest teachers. They're the ones who can set the child in the right path. See, it is our responsibility to raise socially conscious children in today's world. You know, we have to teach them to become empathetic. We have to teach them how to become compassionate children in this world. And that starts at home. That's the only way that it's going to happen. Dunia, they say that grass is always greener on the other side.
Dad, you mean grass is always greener where you water it?
Exactly. Grass is not always greener on the other side. Grass is greener where you water it. So make that effort. Take that hose of life and hose your life around you. Don't always look to your right and to your left and say,
okay, if you have a hose with you, would you spray it?
Because literally it's true. It's the effort that you put into it that is going to blossom and that's going to bloom and that it's going to create the children full of love and compassion and empathy. This is the way to move on.
It's like bees with no honey. You need bees, and like if you don't water grass, you can't make flowers. And if you don't have flowers, you can't have bees. And without bees, you won't have honey, and you also like need bees.
There you go. Very well said. And you know what? Like Gandhi said, be the change you want to see in the world. This is so important, guys. And all this starts at home, okay? So remember, perception, projection, reality. If you perceive something to be a certain way,
like this water bottle, like this tap to be black.
okay. If you perceive something to be a certain way, your projection of that thing will be that way. And so the reality that you're going to create around it will be that. So it's up to you. What's the quote we always like to say?
Change the way you look at things. Change the way you look at things, and the things you look at start to change.
Listen to that. Change the way you look at things, and the things you look at start to change. This is very true. And this is the power that we all have in creating our own reality. This is the power that we have to manifest the kind of life that we want. So, we thank you all so much. You've all been a wonderful audience. And we close, like we always do,
If you don't want
with love,
love,
peace, and respect. Salam, shalom, namaste. Thank you very much. Now, one second, wait. So, now they have asked us to do a question and answer period. Does anybody have any questions for Dunia? Or maybe myself? We'll be happy to answer. But please wait for the microphone if you have anything to ask. Okay, and if you don't have any questions, thank you so much for coming. We'll be delighted to pass out the books. If anybody would like some, you are more than welcome. And thank you again for coming. A big hand of applause to you all. You can come here. Dunia. Dunia, Habibi, come, Dunia, I need you to come here to sign the books, please. Come here. Can you come here?